Aloha and welcome, guys, to the Look of My Life. Yes, and hopefully, Chris is cutting this out so you don't hear it, but the dogs are saying hello at the same time. So, hello, hello, hello. And for those of you who are coming on over from Burton's channel, we just had an amazing live over there. Yes, Pia, I hear you. We just had an amazing live over at Burton's channel. We had Sleuth Mom over there, Burton, and myself talking about this case as well as a couple other cases that really, gang, if you weren't listening to that live, go back and rewatch it. Um, the information about this family from the Netherlands, and then talking Brittany Murphy after that. It's just really some great discussion going on over there. So please, later on, go back and rewatch it because it was a great live. And so, those of you coming in, here we go. And let me pull this up so I can say hi to people as YouTube decides whether or not to send announcements out to everyone. We know how that goes. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, yes, I saw Princess over there at Burton's. And also, it's what I love. I feel like I'm spending my afternoon with a bunch of friends. Okay. We're sitting around at a coffee shop or something and we're all just talking story. It's awesome. JP is here. Ooh, I have seen what a laugh can do. It can transform almost unbearable tears into something bearable, even hopeful. Wow, that sounds like a Bob Hope thing. I used to love watching. Not sure how many of you guys ever used to watch Bob Hope when he'd have his specials on TV. My dad and I would sit down. Oh my gosh, my dad always had us watching those. And that's true. I have seen what a laugh can do. It can transform almost unbearable tears into something bearable, even hopeful. Smile, same thing. A smile can take the worst time in the world and lighten it up just a bit. It always can. So thank you, JP, for sharing that. And of course, Sleuth Mom here with her dear old Typo Club girl. Hey, you know what? At least it's not doing what the talk to chat type does to certain of us and everything. A little bit of bit there. Yeah. How you sleuth. I had fun with us all talking. And tomorrow, guys, by the way, for those of you coming in, we're going to be over at Sleuth Mom's channel tomorrow at, we'll start 30 minutes. So 23 hours, 30 minutes from now, we will be over at Sleuth Mom's channel, just hanging out, our last little fun live before Christmas. And then next week, we'll be at Burden's for New Year's live. So in the bushes. Hello, my dear. And then Tammy. Hey, we're all just bouncing from chat to chat to chat. I love this. I love it. You got the update. Yes. YouTube, I never know. I never know. And oh my gosh, Kimmykins, you changed your name. I love it. Figment of Kimmykins. Oh yes, there you go. There you go. I love that. Awesome. Well, gang, oops, I'm getting that little alert that my connection is unstable, gang. So hopefully it holds us out here because Hawaii has been dealing with today's actually been nice, but we had some really bad winter storms going through yesterday. I mean, power was going in and out. In fact, I wasn't sure if I'd get to do Missing Mondays because of it. So, and I look fine. Ooh, I'll take that multiple ways. Okay, but thank you. I know the way. I did move in one of my routers over here, hoping it would help. Oh, we got a couple new people. Burden popped in. Burden, that was an awesome live. That was a really, really good live. And a couple things I got to go back and do some research on. And Red Rock, hello, my dear Red Rock. And there's Nicole coming in and KO. Hi, Sleuth Mom. Hi, Aloha. Yep, love and thoughts. Okay, and guys, as we move in, that's a perfect way to start segueing into the discussion on Madalina. Hello, intuitive one. Hello, hello. Um, guys, the same way as what was said earlier about okay, laughter. There is always hope. Okay, and the more I hear about this case, the more that I feel we need to remember there is hope out there. Okay, it may not, a lot of us initially, when we heard this case, we saw so many red flags coming up and everything that we kind of might have quickly started our assumptions and stuff like that. The more I'm hearing, the more I'm starting to wonder, you know what? getting her poster out is so important right now because there is a good possibility. I'm not even going to say a possibility. There is a good possibility she could be out there. She could be in Michigan, for example. Okay, she could be in another state somewhere in the Midwest. So it's important for us to share all this stuff out as much as possible. Hey, you Red Rock. I love you guys. Oh, hey, Birdie. Welcome, welcome, Birdie. Welcome and aloha, my dear. And yeah, we need to get her out there and we need to get her out everywhere. So let's get her out there. Let's start getting her out there again. Hey, you're welcome about the Christmas background. I love Christmas. What can I say? So, and yes, all the mods that are here, you guys are the best. Okay. I mean, gosh, the people, even with the memberships, I've had a lot of people joining in memberships lately, and I can't say enough. The people that I've connected with on YouTube are just amazing. They really are amazing. So thank you, Intuitive, for sharing that out. Kimmykins, you have not dug into this case. Okay. I do have a post on my community page. I'll go and re-put things up right after this so that people can share it out. I also, let me do this real quickly. If anyone wants to come into my Discord, I have the posters for anything that I do gets put into Discord. So if anyone does have Discord, sorry gang, talking as I'm typing. Okay, here you go. There's the Discord invite link for this week. Please feel free to go in there because I do have a poster folder where you can go and get any of the posters in any way. I've got Instagram version as well as thumbnail version. So whatever works for you. So this is Madalina. So those of you, Kimmykin's new story for you and everything for other people who this might be a new one. Bitch for life, girl. How you doing, Steph? Love you, my dear. Madalina, I covered yesterday as part of Missing Mondays. And what has been frustrating with this case is when I saw it, it was just, it called out that yes, you're going to have a lot of people covering it, but there's reasons for it. There's a lot of potential directions this case may have moved. And we're hearing more and more. So what I wanted to do today is do a follow-up. We now have the arrest sheet that is connected to this case. And we have some video now that we can share. And we can kind of start getting a better idea. Like I said, originally people were like, oh my gosh, there was fires in the backyard right afterwards. They didn't report parents did not report her missing. It looks really bad. And but now as I started reading this arrest sheet and I started noticing there is hope here. There is definitely hope here. We don't know what the future holds for us right now. So we go back to sharing whatever we can. So just to start with, Madalina Cojocari, just to remind you, went missing on November. I had 23rd written here. We're going to realize we're not quite sure on the last day she was truly seen by other than what we have video-wise. So even this date's a little out right now. She's from Cornelius, North Carolina. Hello, Josh. Welcome, my dear. She's 11 years old, 4'10" tall, 90 pounds. As you can see, she has gorgeous brown, long brown hair here. She may not have long brown hair anymore. Okay, it's very, very possible if she did end up being taken or given to someone or something like that, that they could have cut hair or something at this point. So look at the facial. Okay, look at her face. Catch her from that. Look at the way she holds her body when we get to the video. Okay, what she does with her hair. Those are, if anyone's ever worn glasses before and gotten LASIK, you know that feeling of those habits you have. You would put your glasses up all the time and then you get LASIK and you find yourself still doing that. Those are habits that even if someone gets their hair cut, they're going to still do those things for a while. So look for those things. Now, what we're going to go over is a lot of this next sentence about when she went missing and when she was reported missing. There's a 20 odd day time lapse there. And that is what has so many people concerned. We also don't know this description of what she was last seen was wearing jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes, and a white t shirt and jacket. We don't know who gave that description. Was that the description on the video? I looked at the video. It looks like she's wearing a t shirt. It looks more beigey, though, to me, there, or gray, not white. So maybe there was a different outfit that she was wearing from there. But please contact Cornelius PD at 704-892-7773. And guys, please keep her in your prayers. There's prayer vigils going on, okay, tonight. Please keep her in your prayers right now. Prayers work. Hey, Grandma Sherry. Oh, we got kitty cat sleeping. So moving on. So what came out this morning that changed a lot of things is this arrest sheet. I wanted to go through the arrest sheet, reading through it, kind of breaking a couple of the things down, and then we'll go back and I have a timeline written out. Hopefully I got it correct. And where we can actually look at what's actually been happening during that time. Because if you read the arrest sheet, it's a little confusing because there's so much this happened then, okay, and it kind of gets lost in your head at times. So let's just start. I've got it up here for you to read, but I am going to read it off of here, and that hopefully will make it a little easier to follow. If you guys have questions in chat, need me to go back, let me know. You guys know how that all goes. Intuitive, girl, I love it. Candles and prayers for Madalina in chat, definitely. And because that's where we have her right now is in and all. So the Mecklenburg County Arrest Processing Center, this is the arrest sheet that they put out. Now, we know right now the two people that you are seeing right here below her picture are both in jail right now. That is her mom, who is from Moldova, and her stepfather. Okay, they are both in jail. We will go over a little bit as we go through the timeline, what bonds are like and things like that, because there have been some changes in that. So starting with this, on Thursday, December 15th, 2022, at approximately 1:12 in the afternoon, officer responded to Bailey Middle School. Okay, she was in 6th grade at Bailey Middle School, located at 11900 Bailey Road in Cornelius. The complainant, Madalina Cojocari, her mom, who resides at 18413 Victoria Bay Drive in Cornelius, reported her juvenile daughter, Madalina Cojocari, has been missing since approximately 12 o'clock midnight. Well, actually, wait, that should be noon, actually. So even this is where some things are getting confusing for people. If you follow what we're hearing, she's probably saying more about, oh, wait, no, actually, never mind. It would be 12 o'clock because she says she went to go wake her up at 11:30, just to clarify for you. So she's been missing since approximately noon on Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. On Monday, December 12th, at approximately 2 p.m., Bailey Middle School Resource Officer Jay Nobles attempted a home visit with 6th grade school counselor Mrs. Lampkin in reference to Madalina Cojocari. Now, just as a reminder for those of you who were not here yesterday, the school policy on absences states that after 3 unexcused absences, a teacher makes initial contact with the parent by telephone, letter, or home visit. 6 unexcused absences, the principal notifies the parent in writing. 10 unexcused, the principal sends a letter to the parent by certified mail or a hand delivery. So the fact that they went in person shows that they were taking this extremely seriously. Okay, they weren't just going the route of let's do the form, letter, stuff like that. They actually did go in there. So I know that's one thing a lot of people on the internet and Facebook have been like, okay, well, what about the school? What is their place in all this? Um, Mrs. Lampkin, the sixth girl, okay, attempted, okay, well, let me go back to this one up here. At 2 o'clock, Bailey Middle School Resource Officer Jay Nobles attempted a home visit with sixth grade school counselor Mrs. Lampkin in reference to Madalina. Mrs. Lampkin stated Madalina had not been to school since Monday, November 21st, 2022. There was no answer at the door, and a truancy packet was left by Mrs. Lampkin. So we don't know, was someone at the house and they just didn't answer? All that, we don't know. All we know is it was not answered at this point. 2 days later, Wednesday, December 14th, Mrs. Lampkin advised Madalina Cojocari's mother, Diana, called her requesting a meeting in reference to Madalina. Mrs. Lampkin advised Diana, stated she would bring Madalina to school on Thursday and meet with Mrs. Lampkin in reference to the truancy. I'm going to stop at that one part because one of the questions, in fact, I sent Sleuth something about this, is some of the articles I've seen have said that the mom is the one who requested this meeting. Others are saying, no, it was the school who requested this meeting. This is a little ambiguous in the way it was written here, to be honest, gang. I'm going to read it slower here just so you can kind of get the feel for me. And maybe in chat, you guys can give me your idea. Do you think it was the school counselor who actually called the meeting, or was it the mom? Okay, it said Mrs. Lampkin advised Madalina's mom with her name, called her requesting a meeting in reference to Madalina. Mrs. Lampkin advised Diana Cojocari, stated she would bring Madalina to school. So one way or another, what we can definitely take from this is Madalina's mom and the school contacted each other and a meeting was set up for that next day. I'm thinking Figment, okay, Kimmy Cans, that's kind of where I've been thinking. I don't know. The way this is written, it could go either way, to be honest. And but it makes sense to me that was the counselor just calling back to say, okay, did you get our letter? We left a truancy packet, because she would probably have done some level of follow through on that visit from 2 days before. So that's why I'm kind of thinking there had to have been something on that level there. On Thursday, December 15th, so that's 1 day later, Diana came into the school, arrived at the school, but without Madalina, and met with Mrs. Lampkin. Mrs. Lampkin at that point requested Officer Nobles step into the meeting. Officer Nobles, again, is the school resource officer. When Officer Nobles arrived, Mrs. Lampkin and Diana advised me that Madalina had been missing since Tuesday, November 23rd at approximately noon. Officer Nobles spoke to Diana, who advised she last saw Madalina on Wednesday, November 23rd at 2200 hours. So we're already getting some slightly different things. She's saying that she's been missing since November 23rd at noon, but now she's saying she last saw her on Wednesday at 2200 hours. So we're getting slight differences here. She stated that Madalina went into her room that night to go to bed. Diana stated her and her husband, Christopher Palmater, argued that night, and the next morning he drove to his family's house in Michigan to recover some items. Diana stated she went to check on Madalina around 11:30 p.m. on the 24th and noticed she was not, 11:30 a.m. on the 24th, and noticed Madalina was not in her room. So she woke up the next morning. Okay, from what we understand, stepdad leaves and all that. She goes in to check on Madalina at 11:30. Madalina's not in her bedroom. Diana stated she waited until Saturday, November 26th. This is the 23rd now, 23 to 26, at 7 p.m., when Christopher returned home before asking if he knew where Madalina was. Christopher stated he did not and asked the same question in return. I asked Diana why she did not report Madalina missing until now. Diana stated she was worried it might start a quote unquote conflict between her and Christopher, her husband. Officer Nobles requested she contact Christopher and have him come to the school at that time. Officer Nobles then contacted Detective Patterson and Detective Nichols for assistance. So what we're definitely getting right here, she saw her daughter last at night when she went to sleep. Next morning, 11:30, she's not in there. She waits a couple days later for her husband to come back home from Michigan to find out, oh, have you seen my 11-year-old daughter? Last paragraph, on Thursday, December 15th, Chris Palmater, so at this point, Chris is now over at the school, I suspect, and he stated that on 11/23, November 23rd, he left his residence to make a trip to Michigan to pick up items. He advised that he did not see Madalina the day he left and believed the last time he saw her was a week before his trip. So he's going further now, saying that he did not see Madalina for the whole week before he left on his trip on Thanksgiving. He stated that he returned to the residence on 11/26 and asked his wife Diana where Madalina was, and Diana said that she did not know. Chris told Diana that he did not know where Madalina was either. So they went back and forth. Okay, do you know where she is? No. Do you know where she is? Sounds like that's what they kind of did at this point. Chris stated that he did ask Diana if she had hidden Madalina. And Diana asked Chris if he had hidden Madalina. And they both said no. Chris did not report her missing to the police at that time. Chris stated he spoke with Diana several times over the next 3 weeks about where Madalina was, and both continued to state that they did not know where she was, but they did not contact the police to report her missing. So, long story short, that's what the arrest thing has. Now, what we need to do, I don't know about you guys, when I was reading this, the way it's written, there's so much future, past, okay, present, things like that. It gets a little confusing for me. So what I did was I started a timeline. So I wanted to, we can kind of go through the timeline, ask questions, okay, try to figure out what's going on here. Bitch for life, a bitch. And I agree. Why wait until he gets home to call? This is an 11-year-old daughter, and that's one of the questions that is really causing problems for a lot of people, is that many times a mother, okay, you're away from your child for just 2 days. Okay, heck, my brother's 50 years old and he's right now in another country, and my mom, I literally think she's texting him about 20 times a day. Okay, it's just something ingrained many times, you would think. And also, I really want to know the route that they drove. Did he go to the turnpike where cameras saw him? Yes. And I really can't wait until we start hearing about this Michigan part. Right now, we did find out Sleuth. Okay, Burden and I were talking earlier. We're talking about a 12-hour drive. This is not like, okay, I'm going to jump on the interstate and go there and I'll be back later. And it's a 12-hour drive that he took on Thanksgiving. Okay, so a lot of weird things. It wasn't like he said, I'm going to Michigan for Thanksgiving. He said, no, I'm going there to pick up some things. So it was just kind of weird. Exactly just what I just said. Kimmy Kansas is all so freaking weird. And so leads me to think that she could now be anywhere from home to wherever he went. And that's where I keep saying there is hope, and we need to get this poster all of these posters, everyone who's put together a poster for this little girl, there's plenty to choose from. We need to get them out as far and wide as we can. And also, and Stephanie is saying, so if it's a 12-hour drive, he left what the day after the 23rd and back by the 26th in the evening, what would be the point of the trip? Bingo. And now let's start going through this so you can get an idea. So I'm starting this whole timeline with the 16th. And the reason why the 16th is there, that is the day that, according to him, he believes he last saw Madalina. Now, we know she still was going to school. She went to school through the 21st. So this is 1 week before his trip. So the fact that he's, okay, maybe it's possible. Maybe his work hours are the type that he doesn't see anyone or anything like that. But it is weird that he was like, oh yeah, I saw her last a week ago. Okay, when we know that she was around. It's not like she'd been missing that whole time. On November 21st now is our last time we have proof positive 150% that she was okay. And let me bring this up real quickly. This is video that was put out by the police department today. It's video of Madalina getting off of the school bus on the 21st. So it was just before 5 p.m., I think it was. Let me check here. It's written here. Yeah, 4:59 p.m. Okay, on the 21st. So I wanted to play that so you guys can get a little idea of what she looked like, what her mannerisms, because like I said, if we're looking for her, it's important to look at those mannerisms. And she does have quite a few little mannerisms I'm noticing that are really interesting to look at, because that's what we're going to see. If you happen to be at a McDonald's and see her, okay, it's going to be through these mannerisms. So here we go. And they did go through and they blocked out all the other children. So here's another child coming through. And here she is right there. So it's amazing that everything stopped. Okay, the line stopped right at this time, which is great. It gave us a good amount of time to look at her. So let me go back to here. Okay, so looking at her, okay, the question came, I started thinking, okay, about what she was wearing. I don't know if they would count this as a white t-shirt. It's very possible. I'm wondering if the clothing description that we got was actually from school that day. It's possible. They did mention a jacket, and I do not see a jacket here, but if she's like I am, okay, when I was this age, I would take my jacket and tie it around my waist. I still do that quite often, so she could have a jacket, and she's just hot. She's been in a bus that had heat or something like that. So it's very, very possible that they had that. Oh, thank you, KO. Yeah, she plays with her bangs heavily. Let me take that back all the way to here, and you can watch. She really, yeah, she does that. In fact, I thought maybe she had earbuds in because of the way she played with, but no, that's all her bangs that she's playing with. She also looks like, okay, a very well-behaved. I kind of see here as you look at her, it's almost, I almost want to say she's saying goodbye to the bus driver. Okay, if you look at her as she kind of looks, it almost like she tries to say something there. And then as she looks down and now she's starting to walk, it almost looks like she's talking to her again. So if that's true, it's a very courteous, very respectful young woman here that we're talking about. And yeah, just the two. She has her hair down this way and she's always doing that. And also things to keep an eye out for. I'm very happy the police put this out, honestly, because so many times lately, they don't share video, and video is what's really going to help us recognize someone. Okay, because she could be changed. Looking at her, she looks well groomed. To me, she looks happy. She looks content. She doesn't look scared or anything to me, but it's all in the eyes of the beholder, I'm sure. Okay, so there's a lot of potentials, and it's up to each of us. We'll all kind of see things differently. But it gives us a little bit more than just a still picture. It gives us that moving picture of who she is and all. So let's take this back to our time stream. And yeah, I agree, Sleuth. I wish they would. They hold on. Sleuth, you and I just, okay, you shared with me Lena today. They have more video today instead of just that really short little snippet I had in the past. So much more. And you can now see how she walks a little bit more and things like that. It's so much more hopeful. And also, so the video exists. 4:59, we know she was okay. Okay, she came home, got home, all that. Now, from here, we don't know what happened. Okay, yes, Sleuth. 1 year ago today is when Lena went missing. I covered her right at the end of a Missing Mondays because the Amber Alert went out. So we need to, that's another one we need to keep her in the forefront, gang. We really do. That video was taken on November 21st, which was, let me see what, November 21st was a Monday. So it was the Monday before Thanksgiving. And this is where it gets interesting. I have not heard anything about this yet. From looking at the school schedule, the last day of school before Thanksgiving break was the 22nd. So if there was school on the 22nd, yesterday I thought, okay, the last time she was seen was the last day before Thanksgiving break. It looks like she did not go to school on the last day, okay, before Thanksgiving break. And that changes things slightly also. Why did she not go to school that day? Or did she? Maybe she did. No, she wouldn't, because people would have said, yeah, we saw her at school on this day. Okay, rather than this being the last video, the last time she was seen. So it's interesting, and I'd like to hear, what were they saying? Were they saying that she came down with COVID at some point? Did they, what, or did they just never respond at that point? Okay, let me see. Yeah, Burden, definitely go check out that video. If I can post it later, I'll try to post it later also. I'm sure it's over on Sluice. I have a gut feeling also. Um, yeah, schools typically call now. Text messages are going out to people. Okay, so there's a definite, okay, people know when their kids are, it's not like you're going to all of a sudden 3 weeks be like, oh, my kid, I thought my kid was going to school this whole time. Okay, and no, it doesn't make sense. So, so that leads me to think that was the last day she was probably truly seen. Exactly. And that's one reason why I probably even like my poster is incorrect at this point because of that change in date there. So December 21st, December 22nd, there was school. From the sounds of it, she was not at school. So now we get to November 23rd. That's the day before Thanksgiving, Wednesday. Her mom reported that that night, Madalina went into her room and went to bed. That was the last she saw her, was going to bed that night. She also said that she and her husband argued that night. So a lot of questions pop up there. Okay, did she get upset? Did she just go to her bedroom, okay, to hide from the fight? Um, Even if it's not physical or anything, anytime my parents fought and there was no real abuse or anything like that in my family, I would still go to my room because I didn't want to hear it. And also, was it something like that? Some people have said, could she have run away at that time? Okay, many different things that could have gone on at that. And bitch for life, I think, yeah, something tells me something bad happened, and the Michigan trip plays into, yeah, her not returning. I have a feeling too. So they argued that night. She went to bed. And the next morning, we've got Thanksgiving. Mom says that her husband drove to his family's house in Michigan that morning to recover some items. He confirms the same thing. He said, yeah, I went to Michigan because I needed to pick some stuff up. Mom then said, after he had left and all that, She then went to Madalina's room around 11:30 in the morning and noticed Madalina was not in her room. Okay. This is where some of the things, even me, I'm sitting here playing ideas in my head. We do that, and I'm like, could mom have maybe have thought she was with husband the whole time, or things like that, and I don't know. It's possible. It's possible she went there. Oh, she's not here. I bet you she left with him. We don't know. That's a possibility. There's a lot of possibilities. What is interesting though is on Thanksgiving, for you not to recognize that your child is missing and report it on a holiday. You would think that is one day that you would be a little bit more alert to something not being right. And so November 24th came, went, gone, 12-hour plus or minus drive. We don't know exactly where in Michigan the families is from. So it could have been anything, I'm guessing, from 10 to 14-hour drive one way. And also, I agree, Grandma Sherry. I hope to God he had his cell phone on that whole time. There's a lot of, I don't want to say stupid answers that they keep coming up with, but I'm hoping, based off of how they've reacted on this, they did not think things through if something was done and they had the phone on them and stuff like that. So let's see. Okay. And Figment, there is a back way into Michigan through Ohio over a river, not many cops on the border. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. So November 26th. Now we're talking Friday. No, Saturday. Saturday. Okay, Thursday. Yeah, Saturday. Mom said she waited until he returned home. So he came home at around 7 p.m. on Saturday. At that point, she asked him, "Hey, do you know where Madalina is?" He's like, "No." "Do you know where Madalina is?" And it sounds like they got into this back and forth of, no, I haven't. Do you? No, do you? No, do you? Oh, did you hide her? Oh, no, did you hide her? That's what it honestly is sounding like to me. And I don't mean to be tongue in cheek when I say that, but at the same point, that is kind of it. I hope you guys don't hear the dogs barking like crazy. Someone just came to the front door, I think. And also, I'm hoping Crisp is doing its work. So she went at that point. They talked back and forth, okay, back and forth, back and forth. In the end, they realize your dogs are barking too. And hey guys, come here, Wrigley. So no Crisp, no Crisp. And okay, now they're back. Actually, nope, I don't have any more of the good treats. So, thank you, Crazy, for reply. Thank you, my dear. So after the back and forth, okay, the questioning on hiding her and all that, they decide, oh well, we don't need to let anyone know. I'm sure she'll show back up, I guess. Okay, sorry, I'm being very, very sarcastic. I know, and I'm not usually that sarcastic, but it just amazes me when I hear this. Um, so they did not report anything. Okay, we're now at November 26th, where both parents now officially know she's missing. Okay. Other thing that is happening is from November 26th, upon finding out that she's missing, over the next 3 weeks, her stepfather says that he kept speaking with his wife, her mom, multiple times, several times, asking her, well, where is she? Where is she? So I'll be honest, we were talking about this earlier. Is this the type of couple that would use their daughter to play games with each other? I'm saying their daughter because she's stepdaughter. Okay, do they use her as a game? Okay, because to me that is to keep going back and forth with something like that. Okay, and not if a child goes missing, gang, and you truly feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know where they are. are you going to keep going to your loved one and say, I know you're hiding them. When are you going to bring them out? Okay, there comes a point where you've got to know down deep, no, this is not that. And so they continued doing that, but at no point during that 3 week time period did they decide, okay, we need to call the police. This has gotten serious. Yeah, I don't know why they wait. Anyone waits this long for a long, okay, to report, in this case, her missing. It's a huge red flag from the beginning. It really honestly is a huge red flag from the beginning. And then the stories that go with it have made it even more so. Okay, as we were saying earlier, this is one thing Sleuth Burden and I never like to do is jump to assumptions. We're usually really careful about that. But there's every now and then you reach a case that it's really hard to look at it and not help but see not just a couple flags, red flags, but a brick wall of red flags. And that's kind of what's happened in this case. We've got a brick wall of red flags at this point. And so they continue not reporting. Okay. And then on November 28th, the following Monday, school resumes. Important to realize because a lot of people are like, oh, well, that was 3 weeks and all. Well, almost a week of that was a vacation time period. So schools not recognizing that. There are also schools having to recognize we're in a time of COVID where, okay, you've got an issue where someone has COVID and they're out for 2 weeks, things like that. So they still followed their rules, their protocol for unexcused absences, because it doesn't look like any excuse was ever given by the family as to where she was. So now school starts up November 28th. We now go all the way to December 12th. Okay. Yeah. And that's exactly how I feel right now. There's no reason why they should not have been reporting her missing. December 12th, I went over a few minutes ago the policy for WCNC's, not WCNC, the school group's rules for truancy. Okay, 3 unexcused, 6 unexcused, 10 unexcused, and they keep ramping it up to make sure that everyone knows what's going on. So at this point, December 12th, okay, let me pull out my calendar right here. We are December 12th. We are now at 2 weeks of her missing school. Okay, so we are 10 unexcused absences at this point. Okay, 11 if you count the last day before Thanksgiving break. So at this point, the principal would normally be sending a letter to the parent by certified mail or hand delivery. Sounds to me, in this case, they decided, yes, we are going hand delivery. We're not going to go to, certified mail or anything like this. We need to see this child now. And I think that's awesome that they did go to that. That is an amazing question, Linnea. I hope I'm saying your name right. Very good question. Was she one to miss class regularly? Or was she one of those who was there every single day? How was she in class? Things like that. Very, very, yeah, exactly, Sleuth. Very good question. And so December 12th, a Bailey Middle School resource officer and a 6th grade counselor tried to make a home visit to Madeline. Okay, they showed up unannounced at her door. Of course, the thought is if a child has not been in school for 2 weeks, they're probably at home sick, you would hope. So someone should be home. Okay, they got to the house. No one answered the door. Okay, I'm not going to say, was there someone there? Was there not? We don't know. We know no one answered the door. So they are left with the only option being leaving a truancy, packet, as they call it, there. Okay, they have followed the school. I have to say, the school did. At first, I was a little questioning of the school and all, but looking at this now, as I'm seeing the whole pattern, they really have followed their protocol very, very well. And I suspect at that point, let me see here. Kimmy Cans, have they talked to kids in her class? Yes. From what I'm understanding now, police have gone into the school and have talked to teachers. I think they've spoken to children and stuff. And I think children's actually a good thing, to be honest. I said this last night. A 11-year-old child may not talk to a adult about what's going on at home, but they may tell their best friends something. And also, I think that'd be a great thing if that's what they did. And doing it quick, and there's a darkness in this. Possibly a plan was made. Three of Swords in my deck. Oh, you did. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Bitch for Life does pull cards quite often. And so you got the same thing with you. Oh, I'm hoping we're wrong with that one. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, they would definitely do the peer. They're also, if people are wondering, they are going door to door in the neighborhood to ask if anyone has seen anything. This neighborhood, this community as a whole, has been trying so hard to get involved. They want to help any way they can help. They're doing the vigil tonight, things like that. So the police have come out and said, you know what? I know you guys want to come out. We just don't want to mess anything up right now. So you can help by sharing posters as much as possible. So that's why the more we can help with sharing those posters. Okay, choose any poster you find out there and just blanket anything, because seriously, as we're all talking, she could be anywhere in the Midwest. She could be anywhere in the country right now. Okay, yes, there's a chance she may not be with us also. But you know what? I'm going to err on the side of hope every single time. I will err on the side of hope. So, 2 days later, after dropping that packet off at the home, okay, is when the first real phone call happens between mom and the counselor. Now, this is where I'm not quite sure exactly who initiated that call. My gut is saying that the school probably initiated the call as part of their protocol, because I can't see them dropping off a truancy packet like that and then just being like, okay, we did what we needed to do. I'm done now. I don't see that. I truly see they've got the stat, they have the truancy officers, they've got all these people involved there. So they probably called up mom and said, we need to talk. Now, maybe mom called back, and that's how things happen. Wonder about her family from the other country, grandparents, dads, aunts, uncles. From my understanding so far, her all of those people are still in Moldova, from what my understanding right now. Mom and she came over alone, from what I'm gathering so far. Mom had little Madalina, little bit of story connected with that, from what I've gathered, is that when she was pregnant with Madalina, she gained a lot of extra weight, and she wanted to get married again and all that at some point. So she joined one of those, kind of like we have the Biggest Loser and stuff like that, to try to lose weight so that she'd have that option again. She then married the guy here in the United States. Okay, and there's a lot of things that go with that. Okay, also Four of Cups reverse shows that of deep depression may play into some things, with a cup being offered yet not being noted. Thank you. Thank you. And Kimmy Kins, our send CPS if you miss and don't contact them. Sounds like that. And you know what? I think that's one place that I did look at this yesterday, is we're going into a whole series with Sleuth Mom Burden and I about systems failing children and stuff, and where we need to do changes and all. And those may be things we need to look at. I'm always that type of person when I work in long-term care. I'm always looking at, okay, if I start seeing something happening within the facility, how can we change systems so that that doesn't continue happening? So it's good for us to look at those things at times. So I think might be a great plan involving people. So phone call occurs between the two. At the end, what was decided to go with is that there was going to be a meeting scheduled for the next day. Mom was expected to be there, and she was expected to bring Madalina. Okay, that's what was supposed to be there. They were going to have a meeting, talk about the truancy and stuff moving forward. Next day comes, meeting occurs. Mom shows up at the school. Madalina is not with her. Okay. They've met with the counselor. As soon as the counselor realized that Madalina was not there, it sounds to me that she, at that point, pulled the school resource officer into the room because she's seeing these red flags. Her gut instincts probably scream no, it isn't her, screaming out that there's something here. I need to get more backup with me here. So they bring in the school resource officer, to listen in. Once he arrived, Mom said Madalina had been missing since November 23rd. So that's the first time anyone was told Madalina was missing. November 23rd, December 15th. First time. Not to the police, but said to a school resource officer because she was in a meeting and Madalina wasn't there. According to the arrest report, they asked her, why she didn't report Madalina missing until that day. And what the mom said was she was worried it would start a conflict between her and her husband. That's kind of worrisome for me that a person would be like, well, I didn't want to report my child missing because I didn't want to upset someone else. Definitely some red flags in that type of discussion, especially after we're hearing that they kept going back and forth about, oh, did you hide her? Oh, did you hide? All those type of things. That's something, that makes me feel ill. Exactly. It truly does. So at that point, they're talking, and don't have all this stuff written here, but going back to the actual report. They're realizing, this is serious. They've got a missing 11-year-old for 3 weeks. So they tell Mom, we need you to get your husband here now. Husband comes in, and now they start talking to the husband. And the husband's like, oh yeah, no, I had to leave to go pick up some things, but I haven't seen her since, a week before she even disappeared and all that's going on. At the same time, they go and contact police. So off the school is probably, multiple people jumping on board now, and they're contacting 2 detectives to get them out there to start dealing with what is going on and what needs to happen next. And at that point, police called, detectives, 2 new detectives who are added into the case. You've got Detective Patterson and Detective Nichols who are working this case, from my understanding. And they hit the road. They hit it right away. Police get involved. FBI involved. The State Bureau Investigation involved immediately on all this. They start searching, investigating. The public were alerted to her disappearance right away. That is one reason. Red Rock, could there be an immigration or passport issue with the mother? We're going to kind of, as we get to the, at the end with the bonds, her bond is higher than his. And one of the reasons, out of multiple, I can think of 3 or 4 different reasons why. And but one of them is, I wonder if there is fear of her leaving the country if she does bond out. So it's very possible. I'm sure they'll have her turn everything over to them. But if she does bond out, they will actually have her on electronic surveillance also. There's always, I think everyone always just has something in the back of their mind. So I'm not sure if that's how you meant the question or not. So that was December 15th. We're now talking, 15th, that's happening. I'm not sure what time of the day that was or anything, but a day goes by. During that day, they were kind of going through, looking at different places, talking to neighbors, things like that, trying to figure out what needed to be done at that point. There was some discussion um, from neighbors that there was a lot something being burned in the backyard. We've been told that it was a couch, but it was burning for quite a while, multiple hours, quite a long time. I think that was one of the reasons why the police made the decision initially, we need to go into that backyard and dig, which they did. That's how they started, was digging up in the backyard to see if they could find any evidence of anything there. December 17th came. Dad was arrested in the early morning hours. Okay, I don't have a time for that. But he was arrested and charged for failure to report the disappearance of a child. Sorry, gang. Okay, and then a few hours later, in fact, all over Facebook, people like, why aren't they doing it with the mom and all that? And well, that was taken care of. 10:15. Okay, mom is now arrested under the same charge, and both are now being held at the Mecklenburg County Detention Center, where they have been since. Um, Christopher Palmer did have his bond increased to $200,000. And the reason for that, according to the judge, was the seriousness of the charge. And today, and we're going to kind of get into that in just a second, but they looked at moms today. Now, the 19th, the same day, so the 19th was yesterday. Okay, his bond was increased. FBI and Cornelius had finished really looking into the yard and digging up the yard, so they needed to move forward. And as Cornelius PD said, as part of the normal investigative process, we are now expanding our search area outside of the home where Madalina was last seen. That now includes Lake Cornelius. We don't know why Lake Cornelius was named this. I'm not seeing anything at first. When I heard it, I thought, oh, maybe they went there, okay, as part of a holiday or something. Doesn't sound like that now. So something has led them there. Okay. And they were there today. I don't think anything has, we haven't been told of anything that's come of that one either. But they are continuing the interviews, things like that. Today started with Diana at court for a bond hearing, and her bond was increased to $250,000. So, and if she is able to post bond, then she will be required to wear an electronic monitoring device. I have not been able to go and look to find out, would he be required to do the same thing? That was something that keeps popping, and I'm not sure if anyone in chat has that answer. I wondered, is it just her that would have the electronic device? I'm not sure about that. Now, in court, an official was quoted saying that she has hindered the investigation into her daughter's disappearance and begrudgingly reported Madalina missing after several weeks. What does that mean? Well, the reporting we definitely understand. Yeah. Okay. Waiting 3 weeks to report an 11-year-old missing is, I would say, begrudgingly reporting. That one for sure. What do they mean when they say she hindered the investigation? Are they only meaning that as in the thing that she didn't report it for so long? And we know how important those first couple hours are of someone being missing. Is that what they mean? Is there other stuff going on behind the scene? Okay. I'm sure they're playing the two, okay, talking, hoping one will break, okay, and they can find some stuff out. Um, yeah, there's a lot of bad feelings with it. It's hard when you see things like, because you want to keep the hope in your heart. And you do keep the hope in your heart, and that's why it's hard sometimes when they don't end the way you hope they would. But there's this one is, yeah, a lot of red flags. So I'm sure we'll find out more and more about what happened within that. Of course, on the internet, you hear all these different things and you're not sure where the truth is with a lot of the things. So you look for multiple versions of backing it up. Okay, trying to get it from different sources and stuff like that to be able to really verify things. Um, some of the things that have been going on, we were just talking about it a few seconds ago on the last panel. There is some rumor that mom is very involved in multiple different religious angles, um, and has posted some things that are concerning, prayers and things like that, that most people are like, why would someone be having to pray something like that? And saying it multiple times. Um, so there's a lot of really big concerns in those things. As for Madalina herself, I'm not seeing much. I know people are out there. Did she ever show? Do you see bruises? We haven't seen any bruises or anything on her. She looked like a very happy girl there. Okay, she really looked like a happy girl there. So what we do is just get the words out. It could very well be that she's somewhere in between. If she's still with us, she may be somewhere in between. And that's why sharing those posters becomes so important. The next date that I've been able to track down is December 28th. On the 28th, both mom and stepdad are going to be appearing for another bond hearing. And so we'll find out what exactly happens at that point. Yeah, Sleuth Mom, every single one. That's why people love to jump in saying, oh, well, about abuse and stuff like that. She looks happy. Her eyes look happy. You can look at those things. If you see the pictures of her, I mean, let me go back to some of the pictures from yesterday. Okay. I mean, she looked like a very happy younger young lady, preteen. Okay, they did a lot of traveling. Something tells me with coming to America. Okay, with her mom, it was like, oh, let's go. I think that might be Niagara Falls. I'm thinking that is. I've never been to Niagara Falls, so I'm not totally sure. Hey guys, come here, Cassie. And there's the pictures of the parents and the house. Really nice neighborhood. Very, very nice neighborhood. Okay. And the people who live in the neighborhood seem to be amazing people. Okay. That really care. And they're like, I can't believe something like this is happening in our neighborhood. And um, more pictures. This picture here, I did not put into the rest of the thing, but I did find this was interesting. On December 9th, so this is during the time that we know she was missing at this point. Okay, her mom posted this picture of her. Okay, changed her profile picture to it. We don't have a date on this picture. Okay, it kind of looks like it was inside someone's house as they're walking down a hallway or something like that. But yeah, definitely she was posting pictures of her at that point. Looking at the pictures of her with her as a little girl. Look at the smile as she's eating the candy there and stuff like that. Very, very happy girl in this. So so if you guys can help us out with sharing stuff. I'm gonna real quickly, again, here's my Discord page. If you go there, you can get these posters that I have. I know the date's a little off there, November 23rd, but what matters is the rest of the information here. We need to, if there is a chance that she's somewhere in the Midwest or somewhere anywhere on the mainland or something like that, we need to get the word out about her. So if you can help us with sharing that information. I'm going to continue coming here. Okay. I know if you're looking for information, Sleuth's been doing updates. Burden's doing amazing updates on this case. We're going to keep coming out here and updating everyone. Okay. These children and teens and all become someone we worry about, and we want to know what's going on. So hopefully maybe before Christmas, Okay, it'd be nice if we know she's safe by then. So, but there's a lot of scary, scary bits here. So, and yeah, I know, Bitch for Life. Yeah, you did some of the other readings before and all that. It's just, yeah. So, but thank you guys. That's kind of where I've got right now. I'm going to continue looking for more information. If I find any more, I will go live and share whatever I can. But thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys can give the video a thumbs up. You guys don't realize how much it truly does help the algorithm with getting her face out there and her name out there. So, and I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of the week. I will be continuing on with our mental health Friday on Friday. And then we are going to have a special Christmas cantina on Friday night. I promise that. So we will be having fun for that. And also, I will see you guys for sure tomorrow. We are going to be over at Sleuth Mom's channel having a laid back Christmas time and all. And Friday, we'll have fun after we do some work on mental health discussions. If you guys have any mental health discussions, subjects you'd like to focus on, we talked about some of the hard times about the holidays last week. If you guys have a subject, please let me know that you'd like discussed, something you'd like to talk about, let me know so that I can make sure to address those during the mental health lives. So thank you guys so much. Have a great night, and I will see you over at Sleuths tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Time with Burden, and we'll see you then. Aloha, mahalo, mele kalikimaka. Yes, Merry Christmas. Bye-bye. Bye.